The Supreme Court sided with two South Bay Catholic schools, one in Torrance, the other in Hermosa Beach, in a ruling Wednesday, July 8, that expands the number of employees at religious schools and other institutions who can't sue for employment discrimination. The 7-2 ruling stemmed from cases involving two teachers whose contracts were not renewed and argued their respective schools discriminated against them. In one case, Agnes Morrissey-Berru sued Our Lady of Guadalupe School, in Hermosa Beach, for age discrimination after her teaching contract wasn't renewed by a new principal when she was in her 60s. In the other case, Kristen Biel sued St. James Catholic School, in Torrance, for disability discrimination after she disclosed she had breast cancer and her teaching contract also wasn't renewed. Biel became a substitute 5th grade teacher there in 2013 and then became a permanent teacher a year later. But she was diagnosed with breast cancer in April 2014 and asked the principal for a leave of absence so she could undergo a double mastectomy, chemotherapy and radiation. That summer, the principal at the time told Biel she would not renew her contract, saying it was not fair for her students to have two teachers, according to court documents. Biel filed a federal discrimination lawsuit in June 2015. The nun who fired her, along with another nun, was later accused of improperly using $500,000 in parish funds for trips to Las Vegas and other personal expenditures. Biel's case worked its way up the court system until a 2-1 ruling by the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in December 2018 said she could sue for discrimination. Her case and Morrissey-Berru's both made it to the Supreme Court, which heard oral arguments on them in May. But Biel did not survive long enough to hear those arguments. She died last year at age 54 after a 5-year battle with breast cancer. Her husband continued her legal battle, said attorney Cathryne Fund of Woodland Hills legal firm JML Law, who also represented Morrissey-Berru. This case was really important to her, Fund said of Biel. Even on her deathbed, she said to him to keep pushing forward. Biel's widower, Darryl Biel, said he was shocked by the 7-2 margin, a rare occurrence on a divided court, and that the majority opinion incorrectly described his wife's job. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution was at the heart of the case. The justices had previously said in a unanimous 2012 decision that the Constitution prevents ministers from suing their churches for employment discrimination. The court said then that the separation of church and state required under the First Amendment means that religious groups must be allowed to hire and fire individuals who serve as teachers or messengers of their faith, without court interference, a so-called ministerial exception. But the court didn't rigidly define who counts as a minister.